Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I know I'm so sorry I didn't post an episode yesterday, but it was Father's Day, and I was hanging out with my dad, and I really didn't want to think about cum. Go figure, right? But here is your episode as promised. This is another LA episode I recorded with my friend Tim from college, who's great. Mark Harley, who has been a longtime fan of the show. We met because he's a fan of the show, but he's also a really great comedian. He's on 50 Cent show, 50 Central on BET. And my friend Kelsey Cook, who is an amazing comedian. She's been on The Tonight Show. She has her own podcast called the Self Helpless Podcast. You guys are going to love this one. And again, I am sorry for posting late. Never again. And also, extras are going to come to Patreon on Wednesday. So if you can't get enough of these three people, there will be extras on patreon.com/howcome. We already have like 7 subscribers. I love you all. I'm gonna give you shout outs, or maybe I'll make shout outs like if you donate a certain amount of moolah a month, I'll give you a personal name shout out on the podcast. But yeah, here we go.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Talk for me.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
Perfect.
amazing.
It's
Tim, say hello.
Me. Hi.
Oh my God, I can't believe you're on this.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared.
And you have such an amazing voice, so we want to hear that up and close.
Oh, babe,
Up close and personal.
Yeah.
Mark is very hot, in case the viewers don't know. So, like, him sitting next to me, like, it's
problematic.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah.
This is problematic.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
You guys, welcome to How Come LA.
I'm
This
so
is
excited.
so cool. I came here to visit my dear friend Tim. Tim, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
So we are broadcasting from his apartment. I'm here with 2 amazing comedians as well. Hello, Mark. He's
Hello.
a fan of the show, friend of the show.
Been a fan since day one, since episode 1.
Episode 1. Yeah. It's so funny, the contrast, because Tim and I have been friends since college, and like he couldn't be less of a fan. He was like, I don't want to do
fucked up, Tim.
fucking listen to the podcast.
Yes, I have listened to it.
You've listened to it from the other room, right? Like while it's being recorded.
Yeah, well, that was
So technically you've listened to an unreleased episode.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I love you. I love the podcast. But just like as a gay man, vaginas scare me.
Yeah.
And it's like vaginas really scare me. And then when you're talking about the things they do and the voices they make and
The
like
voices they make. Okay. But we talk about dicks like a lot on this show. Like a lot. Right, Mark?
Yeah, but it's like Mark doesn't mind hearing about dicks because he has one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But like I don't have a vagina.
Yeah, no, I understood that part.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Kelsey Cook, who is one of my favorite people in comedy. She's
Aw,
actually,
thanks, love.
she's a genuinely very talented comic. She's been on The Tonight
Aw,
Show. She has
thanks,
her
bro.
own podcast called the Self Helpless Podcast.
Yeah, that's a kind of a hard one to say. Yeah.
Self Helpless Podcast. You guys can just Google Self Helpless Podcast. It'll come up. Kelsey, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here. And you just did a fucking hilarious thing on This Is Not Happening, too.
Yeah, for Comedy Central, which is kind of it's super fitting with this podcast because it's about the first time that I tried masturbating and ended up in the emergency room. So that was like my first journey with like trying to do anything sexual.
And I've been holding up. Like Kelsey and I have known each other for like several months now.
Yeah.
Like she comes to New York sometimes to perform and like whatever, we see each other and I'm like, you can't tell me the story until the podcast.
So we're here today.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I can do like
Yeah.
an abridged version for sure.
Yeah.
Or like the whole version, you know.
If you want, I mean, like the story
on
on
TV, yeah.
What's our parking situation like?
It's like a 12-minute story online. I can't remember how long the YouTube clip is,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
didn't
at
know.
almost 1 million views now, which is crazy.
That's
Like,
crazy.
Usually-
off a straight masturbation story. Huh?
yeah. I mean, the title of it is Homemade Dildo, so I feel like it's
Right.
pretty
Yeah.
easy clickbait in terms of, but the This Is Not Happening clips do tend to get a lot of views because it's just been, I think it's in its 4th or 5th season.
And people tell like amazing, crazy stories.
Yeah,
and
it's a tough process to get on the show, so they really make sure that the stories are like
Yeah.
pretty jaw-dropping. The thing that I tried masturbating with that put me in the emergency room, it was like a manicure tool. I don't know if you ever saw like back like with infomercials, they had those manicure tools that were kind of like shaped like a dick, but you could put little tools on top to buff your nails.
Oh, slightly.
So
it was
you
different
masturbated with
attachment.
something
Vague
that was meant to
recollection,
buff your
yeah.
nails.
Yeah. So it was my mom's, and I
But did you use the end?
used the part, like the handle part that looked like a dick.
Okay.
No, she used the buffer part.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was.
My clit looked so fabulous after
God
that.
damn.
But did you put it up or did you?
Sandpaper.
Yeah, I put it up. Because
Horrible.
it was like all of my friends had lost their virginity and I felt super left out.
Yeah.
And so I, rather than just like waiting for a boyfriend, I was like, well, I'll just stick something up there.
To see if you can accommodate it.
Yeah, well, and just
Am
to
I
like
woman enough?
Yeah. To like see what it felt like so then I could kind of try and relate with my friends. Because, you know, like in high
Yeah.
school, all you want to do is just like fit in. And
I did it with a condom and a hairbrush.
Okay,
And
yeah.
the handle of a hairbrush.
See,
Just to be like, I was like daunted by the idea of like, oh, someone's dick's gonna go in here. I have to be prepared.
Totally, yeah. It was
Yeah.
also kind of like that weird type A, like just overachieving.
Yeah, I need to be
like
good
I
at
need to be able to
shit.
look at a dick
Yeah.
the first time and be like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
Man. Like, I've
Yeah,
put,
I mean, I even stuck weird things up my butt.
Did
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember like a Sharpie.
Oh yeah, I
Really?
definitely
I
like
had
tried
to
a
start
Crayola.
slow, you know what I mean?
I tried a
That's
Crayola
world
marker at one
slow.
point. Yeah.
Oh.
That's like
Yeah.
a
I thought you were gonna say
teenage-sized
Crayola
tampon.
crayon.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a good starting point.
Yeah.
The
Unless
brown.
you have a hot ass and it melts the wax.
Start with a brown
Oh.
Crayola.
Oh
Yeah,
god.
the most discreet way to
Ugh.
fuck your own
No one
asshole
will
in
know.
elementary
Yeah.
Work
school.
your way up to a Lisa Frank pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then work your way up to one of those like sniffy markers that's also brown.
Oh my
that'd
god.
be a good way to get your asshole to taste differently, right? Like,
Yeah,
you like
chocolate
those
butthole.
blueberries?
Kids do not do this at home. That is toxic.
Yeah.
For all
Yeah,
the
do not do
12-year-olds
that.
listening to this podcast.
That's gonna be like the next Tide Pods thing. They're gonna be like, they
Right.
said.
yeah, the new
I mean,
sniffy
they
marker
then suck
challenge.
or like sniff poppers, which is like a VCR cleaner. So like I can't imagine a Sharpie or like a marker is that much worse.
Poppers
You know?
are for making your butthole looser.
Just for overall
Calmness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
And
a
it's-
big drug enduring sex guy? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't need it, but I've had sex on several different drugs. I think
Yeah.
weed's great. I think LSD is great. I think Molly makes you, as we discussed earlier, not really want to orgasm, so it's better for
Yeah.
like, sex
What?
becomes just like one. Yeah, for me, at high doses, right?
Yeah, he was.
The urgency. Now, it might be an inability thing, but I just, whatever dose I've taken recently, I just noticed like, oh, I'm not able to come really. But as far as the
But
intimacy
Mark was
factor,
But
saying
are you
he's
still
like-
like horny? Because like Molly
He's-
is like
No, he was
infamous
saying
for,
like it's like more of an aggression thing, like when you're trying to come, like
Yeah,
just
for
like
guys,
that,
it's
you
like,
know.
the
funny.
point of sex for guys is to come. So I was describing it as this like ramp up where it's like you're fucking. Once the girl comes, especially, I
Yeah.
notice like the difference in how I start like approaching it. It's
Yeah.
like, now I'm gonna come before you're measured and controlled and you're focusing on the girl, and then once she comes, like, and you have permission, it's like, but it's because of the urgency of feeling like I need to come. When guys
Yeah.
need to jerk off or whatever. I don't have
Right.
the female experience of what
Right.
that, release of tension feels like. But on Molly, I've just noticed that it's like, I
Yeah.
can take it or leave it.
It,
Yeah.
it's like
wanna
it's
keep
more
fucking.
like I'd rather just like hold you.
Yeah, exactly. I do feel that way,
No,
Yeah.
but yeah, like guys get frustrated.
yeah.
It's very frustrating when you can't come.
Yeah,
So-
no,
Yeah.
I think it's like always sad when like guys can't come, whether they're too drunk or they're coked out or they're whatever. Like it just
Yeah.
sucks
You
for
just have to
everyone
give up.
involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And also, usually for guys, it probably accompanies like a softening penis. So it also like there's this added humiliation of like I can't even keep my
Yeah.
Yeah.
like if you have a raging hard on and can't come, there's maybe something else going on. But like
Yeah.
it's
no,
usually accompanied like with the struggle of like, okay, just give me a second, suck on it for a little bit. Okay, wait, if you try it, jerk me off from behind, but
Yeah.
you're going through a bunch
I just
of
wanted
things.
to let him keep going for like 5 minutes and just see how many more he
What's
could
in your
come
mind,
up with.
Mark? What have you been
Yeah.
trying to do to keep
Again,
your dick
should
hard
we
recently?
switch seats? Or?
Just call me Thor and then grab my toe. Some weird shit.
Get the hammer.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wait, and so your thing got stuck up there?
We have
No,
a
it didn't
circling
get
back.
stuck. But so it was made of this like grippy rubber material,
Oh.
for like holding in your hand, not
Okay.
like for, fragile pubescent orifices.
Wait, was it
And-
that same, like my hairbrush had that like jelly
Yes.
one. That's why
Yes.
I used it. 'Cause
It was like
that
all-
moldable, like squishy Conair hairbrush.
Yes.
Type. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it was like, it wasn't
it's a very tempting.
squishy though.
Yeah.
It had a lot of friction to it. So
Okay.
basically, I managed to get it up there. And then
How wide would you say it was?
I have a picture of it.
I'm gonna post it on the IG.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Throw it on the gram.
So I put it up there and then I threw it away, and I took a shower, and I knew right away that something was wrong because I felt this like burning and itching down there. And so I thought I would look at it with a mirror because I thought like, well, maybe it just looks fine. And when I looked at it with a mirror, my vagina, like everything had swollen shut. Like there wasn't a hole.
Yeah, that's God's way of telling you that you're going to be celibate now.
Bitch, you fucked up.
Because you're a sinner.
You don't get a hoe.
You don't use
hole no
mommy's
mo.
products for that. Okay, those are mommy's products
Yeah.
for beauty.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
Wait,
is what
so the
happens.
grippy fell off, or what? You were
No, the
allergic
grippy-
I was
Allergic
allergic.
reaction,
So what
yeah.
happened was I found out I was
Yeah.
allergic to latex.
Oh.
And so yeah, I had to like, when you see that and you're like 15 or 16 or whatever, your stomach drops because you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And
Can't
I
tell
knew,
anyone.
Yeah, I knew at that point that I needed like medical attention. I was gonna have to tell the doctor what I did, which is so horrifying because I grew up in this like really tiny town. I'd been seeing the same
Right.
doctor since I was like
And
a
the
kid.
doctor was very gossipy.
It was like one of those towns where like everybody knows everything. Like
Dr. G.
Yeah, come on, man. The nurses are all like moms of your friends.
Yeah.
And he was this like very Christian man, and
Oh,
it just was like
God.
so horrifying. But before that, I had to tell my mom because I wasn't old enough to drive yet. I needed somebody to take me to the doctor.
There's so many layers of horror here.
So many
Yeah.
layers, and I'd never done anything like this in my life, and it's definitely one of those mother-daughter moments where, as a parent, like you don't really know what the fuck your kid's doing, but you assume your kid's like a good kid and
Yeah.
whatever. But I had to. I'll never forget it. It's just burned into my brain that she was in bed doing like a crossword puzzle, and I just walked in and I was just so pale, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I just like I remember kind of like pantomiming what I had done.
My pussy
because
shut.
I like couldn't get the words out to tell her what I did, but I like kind of pantomimed it, and then eventually I was just like, I put your manicure tool inside me, and now like my vagina's gone, and she.
My vagina's gone.
And she just was like, just what do you do as a parent in that
Yeah.
moment? So, we got in the car, we went down to the emergency clinic, and like the doctor didn't know what to do because he didn't understand what I was saying. Like when you're saying like you put a manicure tool inside, like no 60-year-old man knows what a manicure tool is.
Right.
Even just in
I
general.
kind of
yeah,
can't
it's
even-
a
Another
weird,
layer of horror where you have to explain
Explaining
to this.
it,
You can't just jump in and be like,
explaining-
I fucking stuck a
Yeah.
toothbrush up there.
It's
Yeah.
shaped
here's-
like a dick. It's like it's so
Yeah.
humiliating. And also, so then he like went down there with, and I hadn't had any like exams at that point yet. I was like too young to have like
You didn't
gyno
have your
exams
period?
yet. I did, but I don't remember having like an exam yet like that.
Okay.
Anyway, maybe I had, but he put on like his miner's headlight, that like high watt
Oh my God.
bulb, and it's just like you already feel self-conscious when somebody's down there
Yeah.
in that like
Yeah.
close up. But when it's just like a
He's
disaster
looking at it like a
zone.
and
Yeah, yeah, and
miner.
it's like as far from a diamond as possible. It's just like a broken pussy, and like he just like poked around, and he came up and was like, "Yeah, it's like it's this latex allergy because it
Oh
sounds
my
like what you
God.
used had rubber, and like it's all swollen." And
I
it
always
was,
wonder how girls with latex allergies find out though, because it's pretty common.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was so embarrassing, and then like. Oh, there's a whole thing where like 10 years after that, right when I moved here, I went to a new gynecologist, and he didn't know that I had a latex allergy, even though I put it on the file. And so he did like the fingers inside you exam. And when
with rubber gloves.
And you
Dumbass.
closed up
Dumbass.
over him, and then his
And-
hands are still inside you, and
Yeah.
you own
Yeah.
him.
still, there are still fingers inside me as we speak. It's amazing. But yeah, I didn't realize until afterward, and I was freaking out, and he wanted to like prescribe me some cream that could just like make it, and I was like, it's not a bagel, like I don't want to fucking rub. Ugh, sounds awful, like a schmear
It's not a bagel.
down there.
Yeah.
And so he like left, and I locked the door behind me, and I started to masturbate because I thought that if I could make myself come, I could flush out the allergens before the reaction.
That's a really smart move.
Right? Like
like
survival
in the
skills.
doctor's office?
Yeah.
Like an internal eye wash station.
Yeah.
Work
Like,
that
you
shit
know,
out.
like science class.
Oh
And it's
my
like you got
God.
something in your eye, flush it
Yeah.
out. It's
Yeah.
like just
Just
rub
one-
it
yeah.
out.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to be your own douche.
Yeah.
And so,
That's my philosophy.
yeah. And I did, and I was able to come. And I honestly, like,
You were able to
I
come?
was able to come because it was like survival.
Yeah.
I had to just like close my eyes and
You were
picture I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I like remember having like a little bit of itchiness, but I didn't swell up, and I think that's because like I got it out.
It's
Wow.
mental toughness too, though.
Yeah.
That's some manifestation shit.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going through this again. Like,
Although also like urine and like squirting, like do you squirt?
no.
Oh, so but when
I
you-
can come
when you
like a lot, but I like frequently, but like I just
but
don't
there's
squirt.
like no fluid ever.
Not squirting. I
Just
mean, like
you
I'm
get, like,
coming,
wet.
Like I'm gonna get wet. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so I think all of that fluid has like urine in it, and urine is sterile. It's
It
like the same
does.
reason that like
Yeah.
you like pee
Scientifically.
after sex, maybe.
I mean, I'll still
Right.
get it all over my face and not give a fuck, but it is like technically urine.
Do you love to be squirted in your face, Mark?
Not in my face. I'd love to see it. Like that would be incidental. It's not like I have a fetish for getting it on my face, but like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm definitely in the camp of like squirting's awesome. Bring it on.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like it's the ultimate like pat on the back for a dude. If you can make a girl squirt, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm the man. Like,
Right.
This is the
but
best.
also knowing that it's like some people just do, and you know, like when
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
meet somebody who's a squirter,
I feel like none of my girlfriends are big like
I
squirters.
think
seem to
it's
be-
rare
Yeah.
to talk
It-
about.
it does seem to be
honestly.
rare,
I
but
think it's like
also-
the same way that like, oh, there were no gay men when I grew up. It's like, no, nobody talked about
Right.
it, Grandma.
Right.
Like they were all going down to the gas station
Yeah.
and like, getting pumped.
But look, hey, you
Yeah.
were saying in the first was it the first episode that you said the percentage of women who can come vaginally is like 8%.
8%.
So I
Just-
imagine
yeah.
that
Oh, I'm
squirting is less than that. But you know, like when you do have a squirter, like it's actually pretty easy. You know what I mean? Like so,
Yeah.
there
Interesting.
must be a
Yeah.
range within that. Or at least I've met like women who can do it if you know, like in the absolute right circumstances. You know, everything's
Yeah.
perfect, and you do that. And I've also
like
met
a
women who it's
trigger,
like,
yeah.
But
you
is
know,
it
touch
pee?
it once and. I think they've.
Do we
it's
know for sure
diluted.
if it's
It's
pee?
diluted.
from what I
urine.
understand.
It's like water and diluted.
It's
urine.
But is
essentially
it
the same
coming
thing.
out of your urethra?
I don't think it's coming out of the urethra, but it is.
I don't. I have to fact check.
Yeah.
Though.
But I mean, there was a
But I
recent
think
study
that
about
I
it,
think
right?
the
They,
thing
like,
is
published
that
some
like
stuff.
either way it doesn't matter because like jizz and pee come
Yeah.
out of the same penis hole too.
Right.
Right,
You
but
know,
for
like-
us it doesn't. 'Cause
Yeah, but
pee
that's
comes
why
out of the
guys have
urethra.
pre-cum. Is to wash it out, so there's no
Yeah.
pee mixing with the sperm.
Right.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, because urine kills sperm,
Yeah,
right?
urine kills sperm. So that way we can make babies.
Arch nemesis existing
Oh.
inside your organs.
So we all love a little
I
pre-cum. but
see a little
it's mostly
cartoon
pee.
superhero series coming up: urine versus sperm, the longest standing battle.
Wait, can we just go back to the fact that she said like, and I was so scared to tell her that I masturbated because I was a good girl. Like, what does that mean? Like, people need to masturbate.
Yeah, no.
Right.
I
But
know.
It
Christian-
needs to
I mean,
not be such a faux pas.
Right.
in a religious household,
but
I
with-
imagine that's
yeah.
a
Oh,
very,
it
you know,
actually-
the not whacking off thing.
We were in a religious household. It was just
off
like growing up
the
in a small
community,
town.
yeah.
Like, you know, I think it was kind of parts of it were kind of conservative, but it's just also, I mean, my mom is pretty like hippie-ish and like, you know, do your thing and like tell me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you're going to lose your
Yeah, was
virginity
her
and I'll just make
response
sure you're.
good?
Yeah, I mean, she like wasn't judgmental. It just still was. It
Shocking.
Was like yeah,
At
it's a
15,
lot.
you're not
and-
talking about jerking off either. You're still like, even
Yeah.
for guys, it's still like a little taboo.
Oh,
Where you could be like,
really?
you
I've
jerk
been
off.
jerking off since I was in 5th grade. I
Right,
feel like.
but in
talking
in
about it,
middle
though?
school, jerking off was still a like insult you could use towards other people. Like
Right.
you jerk off, no, I fucking do. That's gay, you know.
Right,
like,
right,
And then in
right.
high school, you transition into starting to talk about it, and some guys jerk off together, you know.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I jerked off with so many of my guy
Did you?
friends, and
Did
now they're
you?
all like straight and married, and I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
like I
know where
enjoyed
you've
that a
been.
little bit more than you did.
Oh my god.
Do you ever talk about it with them now? And you're like, remember that time?
No, but I like see them at weddings and stuff, and I'm like,
Hey.
But do you feel like do you feel like that like
I've seen
you
your cum.
that like you violated like their trust or
When
something?
did you come out?
No.
by the way?
No, yeah.
I came out at 17.
Okay.
So like, and I felt like that was late. Like I had kids in my high school, like a couple, not a ton, but like I felt like 17 was rather late. But meanwhile, like,
Yeah.
it's not
For
at
this
all.
generation,
Yeah.
I think, you know,
Yeah.
kids are starting to come out in high
Honestly,
school.
don't think there's any like early or late. Like it seems like there's like a general time that people do it, but like you just have to do it when you're fucking ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
but
there's
knowing
so
that
much
your
of,
day
like-
would come earlier, right?
Oh,
But I
yeah.
like was hooking up with
have-
guys at 14. Like I knew I was gay before I
Damn,
actually
stud.
came, and I
Laying that
game,
dick.
whichever. I'm just saying it's like very like spring awakening.
Oh yeah, very spring.
I just imagining you weren't like, even with your girlfriends, you probably weren't talking about masturbation openly, or is that an assumption?
No, not talking about masturbation, but like they were talking about having sex, which is why I wanted to do it, because sex was starting to be
Did they make it
talked
seem
about.
cool?
Yeah, and they made it seem like, oh yeah, you know, like it was the cool thing, and so I was sick of feeling left out. I was very like Lisa Simpson vibe, where I didn't want to just like fuck somebody. I wanted it to be like a boyfriend and all this stuff, or a manicure tool. Apparently, weird standards I have for myself. But but then when I went home like a year ago to my mom's house, she was doing some spring cleaning or whatever, and
she found it.
I I was like looking, I can't remember if it was like in the bathroom closet or something like that, but I saw the box that it had come in. It's called the Relaxor. And I was like, oh fuck. I was like, I wonder if it's still in there. And I open it, it's still in there. And then I was like, Jesus, I can't believe that's still in there. That's crazy. The next day, I was staying at my mom's house for like a week. The next day I went back in there, it wasn't there.
She's like, I'm planning it for your memorabilia wall.
Oh God, it's worse than that.
Kelsey's greatest hits.
I go, Mom, what? Like, there was stuff in this bathroom yesterday. Where did it go? And she goes, oh, I donated it to Goodwill. And I was like, you know that the manicure tool was in there, right? And she was like, oh, well, I don't know. Somebody can just use it for their nails. And I was like, it was in my pussy. Like, nobody should ever use that for anything.
Washed it.
Yeah, and
My
so,
mom
never
won't
washed.
even
I
let me
don't think
donate
so.
socks or underwear to Goodwill. She's like, that is disgusting.
Oh yeah. So now I feel like it's kind of like Jumanji. You know how like at the end of the Jumanji where it just like it washes up on the shores of like East Asia and it like continues to like haunt the community.
Yeah.
I feel like in a Goodwill in Spokane, Washington, like
Someone's pussy's closed up.
Yeah, like the manicure tool's like calling out to somebody.
There's
on
some
like Congo
14-year-old
drums.
girl that's like,
Yeah, gonna put that inside her. So it'll never die. Like I don't know where it is, but it's still out there.
oh my God, it's like The Mask.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna like glob onto somebody else.
Yeah.
She'll be like, no.
Yeah.
But then she'll learn a lesson and everything will be good in the end and she'll end up with Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark is
Yes.
a big slut.
I'm a huge slut.
Right? Like, do you...
Why are you saying that? Did
Well,
I say
'cause-
something earlier that you made? Did I make it seem like I'm a huge slut?
I think it was like
It's
one of
not
the things.
incorrect to assume that.
Like Mark came in knowing that like most of these episodes have like a topic, and so he was like, "Here are the things I can talk about."
I can talk about it. But I didn't mention being slutty. I was like, I know about personality
archetypes, but like
Just-
and he's like, I've had a lot of sex.
I have had a lot of
as like a
sex, yeah.
sexpert.
Yes, but
Like
we don't need to say slut.
Yeah.
No. I mean,
I would say this a lot. I know a lot of guys who've had way more sexual partners than me. I tend to be in longer term relationships and just have a lot of sex like within those relationships.
Oh,
You know what I
that's
mean?
different.
So I've
Yeah.
probably had sex with like 35 people.
Oh,
you know?
That's
that's
it?
nothing.
Oh yeah, but like
Okay.
1,000 times per partner.
I've had sex
or
with like
whatever,
5 people. So
Really?
I feel like I'm a prude. Yeah, but I'm also very like
I'm gay, so it
monogamous.
doesn't count.
Tim, but if you had to guess,
Hundreds?
No.
100?
I don't know if I'm quite at 100. I don't think so.
but more than Mark.
More than 35, yeah.
You were over 35 by like age 18, probably.
No,
No.
I actually had sex very late.
Oh really?
I didn't have sex until I was 20 in
Okay.
London.
Interesting.
London.
But I mean, I was sucking dick at 14, so like I don't know. Like
Right.
people count that as sex. I don't necessarily.
Different
Yeah.
tricks for giggles.
When you were abroad in,
Yeah, and then the kid
in
found out that I was a
college,
virgin. I was like, so weird.
you didn't tell him you were a virgin.
No.
Oh my God, that's so
And I
weird.
fucked him, so I like loved that. Because like most
Power
people like, get
move.
fucked for the first time.
Yeah.
You know what
Right.
I mean? But I was like,
But you're not
Power
a
move.
bottom normally.
I know. I
Yeah.
wish. I really wish.
Yeah.
Really? Why?
I just like love the idea of being like. I mean, I love to be
Yeah.
like submissive, and I love the idea
Yeah.
of being like dominated. I just like think like my butthole was like not made to be penetrated. I mean, I've obviously done it like
Yeah.
more than once.
Yeah.
I also don't know that I've ever been in love and gotten fucked. So
Yeah.
maybe one day. Maybe one day. I'll
Waiting
really
for the right
enjoy it.
dick. Unlock the key
Saving
to
it
my
for
butthole.
marriage. Yeah. Saving my butthole for marriage. Yeah. So Mark's, I guess not slutty, but open.
Do I read as slutty? Yeah, I am open. I
Yeah.
will say that. I'm sexually open, and I feel like, I mean, at least thought-wise, I guess I'm relatively open, to sexual experiences and having non-conventional sex. But, as far as like hearing about it, listening to people talk about it. Like I like, one of the reasons I like listening to your podcast because of the different perspectives that people offer. And I try to shed. I was talking with Tim earlier about like growing up in like a football and fraternity environment. The entire matrix of how you exist as a man is faggot or savage. You know what I mean? Like you exist in between these kind of you're either like fucking faggot, pussy, like you hear those words so many times a day, and everything you do is kind of like puts you in a category. So you're striving to be hyper masculine, and everything revolves around like not being gay. So you're very careful. But then also like it's funny because things like football and even fraternity initiations are like some of the most homoerotic environments. You're walking around like, you go to college, you don't shower together in high school.
You're
but
holding
like,
someone's dick. You've got your thumb in someone else's butt. You're all walking around in a line.
I've seen hundreds of dicks in close proximity.
I mean, name a gay porno that doesn't take place in a fraternity basement or a locker room. Like,
right. It's all because you do shit like that. Like part of the fraternity initiation that I went through is like you're doing this. You're trying to get this riddle correct, and it's like impossible because it gives you like 60 seconds to like memorize this tongue twister, then turn the light off, and like they keep having you like try round after round like under stress, and like the fifth time they do it, you like harassing the shit out of you and like putting you in a closet with like crying baby CDs and like shit smeared on the wall, and then one of the rounds you come up, you have to like kneel every time you kneel in front of this like altar with like your hand on a knife. One of the rounds you look up, they like unmask you, because you're in a hood. And there's just this guy like sitting with his dick out, and you go, like you're having a lot of trouble with this riddle. So like, I'm going to suggest to you have two options here. You can either try it again, and you're probably going to fuck up. We all want to get to this party at like it ends at 1 a.m. and it's already like midnight. So we're trying to hurry this thing along. Or you could kiss my one-eyed monster here. That's option 2. And of course, nobody's gonna kiss a dick and go into a fraternity.
Right.
I realize that, but
you can't be called old kiss dick.
Right. Yeah. You just can't. So, but guys choose it because obviously it's the rational decision to be like, okay, I'll kiss the dick, whatever. But anybody who
so guys actually kiss the dick?
No, they say I choose option 2, then they hood you and call you a faggot and put you back in the closet.
Oh no! So you can't even kiss the dick and get out of it.
And it happened to be, by the way, the guy who was doing, they called the naked round. Like I did the naked round when I was a senior initiating people. Like, I'm the guy sitting there with my dick out. The guy who was doing the naked round has the single largest penis I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
And you'd never get, like, he was like kind of a nerdy, like, he was like one of the shittiest football players on the team and like kind of high voice. Yeah. But like, I'm like, is that, it looked like surreal. I mean, it was like, like.
Were you feeling good about yourself?
Was I feeling good about myself? No, I don't think any guy would feel good about his own penis sex as a person, but it was like, it just happened to be the coincidence, like, this guy who looks like he has a 14-inch penis.
The weird, like, lanky, like, super skinny. And
you would just never guess.
Your cock is bigger than your leg.
Yeah, just absurdly big, But again, I think male environments like that are, it's just interesting because I've been around like hundreds of penises.
Yeah.
But you have to simultaneously pretend like you're the straightest person ever. I'm not looking. Don't fucking look at my dick. We're all looking at each other's dick, telling everybody that we're not looking at dicks. And then we dress up in tight pants with like, shimmery gold sequins on them and slap each other on the ass. And, everything's about this homoerotic.
It's all
bonding,
like they want you to edge, like really bad. They're like, let's just all get to the point where we want to hook up with each other, but then we won't.
Yeah. Like
I feel like
wrestling.
They do that.
Yeah.
So I just, and it's also kind of like the reverse. Like when girls get together, they're like, oh my God, did you see Stacy? She got fat over the summer. It's like the opposite. Like guys will get together and like, if I came back from the summer like super buff, they'd be like, oh damn man, they're like prodding me. Like,
oh yeah,
you look big, dude. How much you bench? What you lifting? Like you're a fascination point. And then if you like lose weight because you got the flu or something, people be like, oh my God, look at Mark, you got sick.
He looks
he is looking frail.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It is like the
you're
opposite,
shunned.
Yeah.
And I don't mind people touching me, but like people will prod you when you have big muscles, like, bro. And it's usually other guys with muscles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit who it is, but like it's usually guys with other muscles give themselves complete permission to treat your body like, oh man, let me just feel that.
Well, it's just like girls, like we can touch each other's boobs because it's like if I touch yours, like you can always touch mine back, and like we can get reciprocity that way.
I was just gonna say tits are like definitely.
But if the average gay guy did it, you'd be like, oh, get off me, faggot! Like it has to be a bro. Like with other.
I'm just like trying to think if I like touched your muscles when you came in. Like
I wouldn't mind.
I'm
not.
right?
I'm not. I don't have reactions to like, you can touch me and whatever. I'm not sensitive about that at all.
Right.
Oh,
But
so I can touch you?
yes, you can. The stereotypical response to it is like, it's okay for my gym bro. It's not okay for my gay guy because that would mean he's hitting on me. If I didn't do something right now,
that means that you're gay.
Yeah.
Well,
means
I
that I
honestly
might be
think like the
opening.
guys that are most comfortable with it are like
Are the
usually
least
are the least gay.
inclined. Yeah.
And like
Hear
the
that?
ones
Hear
who
that?
are
I'm
like
the least
super
gay,
weird
everybody.
and like
Yeah.
Well, you even said earlier you were like, I'd honestly probably fuck a dude if I got dared to, just because like I wouldn't want to lose that dare.
If you called me a faggot if I didn't
That's
fuck this
true
guy,
masculinity.
Yeah.
Is not wanting to lose that dare.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, Tim, are you like cool with how much Mark is saying?
No,
No.
like I would say probably not.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
No more F-bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one thing like if like you're impersonating someone, I mean it's still not okay because
Yeah,
you're straight,
yeah.
and that's,
He
like,
wasn't
the
saying-
R-word,
yeah.
but, like
Hey.
just And I was saying that like
Yeah.
more straight men need to be open to like a little bit of butt stimulation, and he was like,
Right.
oh yeah, he's like, I'm down for it.
Yeah, I'm totally
Yeah.
open with that kind of stuff where it's like that's usually a hurdle for, guys is even, I know I have guy friends who've like, or female friends who have partners who like they find out that their guys like going outside of the relationship for
Yeah.
like butt stimulation
Oh,
because
yeah.
they didn't want to admit that
They were comfortable.
Oh,
you're
interesting.
comfortable
Yeah.
enough,
Yeah.
but it's like, yeah, dude, the anus feels good. It's not like
Yeah.
gay men aren't born with a different kind of asshole. You know what I mean?
See, I broke up with a guy because I we had like a really like tepid sex life. Like this was like one of the
I'm sorry.
I know it was the worst, and I was like always like trying to bang, and he never wanted to bang, and he'd always blame it on stress or whatever. So I felt like disgusting and ugly
That
and shit.
sucks.
It sucked, and I
Because
would
remember,
be,
you're so pretty.
oh thank
I know,
you.
seriously. Any guy who would be like, ugh, like that's something wrong with
But
that guy.
was he maybe?
I wore my sweatsuit just for you guys.
Yeah, I know. I was like, you dressed up, didn't you?
Yeah,
I was stressing over my outfit. And here you are.
Don't and never do.
Meanwhile,
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Tim's Crackle sweatshirt. It's Crackle paint. No, anyway, so this guy, I was like, what can I do to like spice things up? Like, I'll do anything. Like, let's do toys. Let's do like, like maybe
stuff.
butt stuff, like something or whatever. And he was so fucking weird about the butt stuff that I instantly was like, you're gay.
Right.
And like,
Yeah.
I don't even care if
Wow.
you're gay, but like, because you're so uptight about it, like I've hooked up with a guy that is 90% gay. Like he said that, like, I don't care at all. Like, I think like whatever, like
Yeah.
people fuck. It's not a big deal to me. That I was like, okay, wait, you're clearly so gay that you're not even like, that's why we're not banging.
Right.
Right.
There's always that reaction. And have you ever read about the study where they attach like a monitor to a guy's dick and show them gay porn? And the guys who beforehand were surveyed about their homophobic attitudes, guys who expressed the most openly homophobic attitudes, have the biggest percentage penile enlargement when watching gay porn. A crazy thought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Homophobes are super gay, but
That's so
but also
interesting.
combined with the fact that like, why would you be in a relationship with somebody and not interested in? I mean, of course, there's asexual people, but
Yeah, there
Right.
are
Dropping some little
asexual
hints.
people, but he wasn't asexual. It went between. I was always confused because, and I want to talk about this on an episode coming up because he did a lot of like body shaming shit.
What?
Like, but in the beginning, like for the first 6 months, like when we were just hooking up, it was like a lot of banging, and then. I think the second that we became officially dating and he like loved me, there was like this kind of Madonna whore complex thing.
Yeah.
Where it was like, oh, like I respect you now, or I see you as like this, as like wifey,
Wifey.
yeah. And like, I don't know. That's how I justified it. Or he's gay, or he just.
That's interesting though. It went from a lot of banging to
like.
And that is a real thing, like the Madonna whore thing.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
guys love to. They want whores.
Have you ever
they
been in
want-
a relationship where you're like, I need to go out of the relationship to get something else sexually?
No, it's usually just compulsion. Like, if I'm in a relationship, I'm enjoying it. Now, again, like we talked earlier,
Yeah.
there's elements of like taking Adderall can make you think that like I need novelty or whatever. There's certain things that like, will I think, in retrospect, it's like, no, I didn't need that. I just had a fucking stupid idea in my head that, I needed something different than what I was with. I am attracted to a range of women, but the women I'm with now, I'm very satisfied with our sex,
Yeah.
and
You pee on the toilet together.
pee on the toilet together. Yeah.
He just Instagrammed a picture of them peeing butt to butt, and then 50 Cent commented on it that it
yeah,
was
it's pretty cool, huh?
insane.
I said, "Is this weird to do with your sister?" She actually came up with the
See,
logo
and
for
I
that.
have a problem. Now
Wait,
that she came up with
Uh-huh.
it, it's like it's
Oh.
justified.
Uh-huh.
But I got so pissed when I learned that it wasn't his sister because I was
Wait,
like,
did you think it was actually my
I
sister?
did initially,
Okay.
and I was like, that's funny because I used to do that with Charlotte. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, we called it butt to butt. It was great.
I don't even
With
understand what you're
sisters
talking
and
about.
A guy and a girl.
Can I see this
Bring
picture?
up the, I'll bring up
Okay.
the picture.
They're both sitting on the toilet, butt to butt. His peen is tucked. It must be, but you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
How
We're looking at the picture
how
right
do you
now.
even?
Put the toilet seat up so there's a little more room. We totally stayed. We weren't actually like peeing or shitting. I just thought it was a funny thing to do.
Or shitting.
or shitting.
You know, we could
She
have
just
totally been
started
shitting.
shitting.
Yeah. Wait a second.
That looks number one so uncomfortable to sit like on the rim like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was a comfort photo. It was a stage
Did you
photograph.
clean the rim
Photo
before you
for-
sat
We
on
were talking
it?
to someone the other day, and they
I
were saying
wouldn't
their
know 'cause I don't
boyfriend
care,
sits and
but-
pees, though.
You know.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think a lot of guys
No,
do that. I don't
because
understand that.
I used to tutor, and I'd go over to people's houses, and I'm like, I'm not going to stand up and like let the world hear this. You know, I'm in this marble house. It's like echoing everywhere.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
loud ass pee in front of this 5th grade girl and her mom in the other room. So I started learning that it's just way easier. And then it also,
Like, it's one thing if you're hard or like a little semi and you don't
You have
to
pee
muffle
everywhere,
it.
but like,
yeah, when you're hard, you have to like, you know, you're like,
yeah.
do some acrobatics.
Have you ever muffled a poop when you're at someone else's house?
I try
How
to
do
time
you
the
muffle
flush
a
so it's
poop?
like as soon as the plop would happen, you're hitting the.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to. You know
Some
what I mean?
choreographed
I
poops.
hate thinking people are listening to the sounds of my bathroom.
I don't like
time.
the sounds of the bathroom time.
And
Yeah.
when you're
See,
in
I
like,
like to hear a guy pee. I think it's like kind of hot.
I don't
I like
mind.
to hear girls
That's
pee.
awesome.
It's
Once-
a different sound than guys because
It
comes
is a
out-
different sound because it's
like a
coming
more
from
of a-
closer.
Right, and
It's
it
more of a
also
psh.
yeah, it's like it's like a waterfall almost. And the way like the stream comes out, it's not a single focused like thing, so it's more like gushing or
It's like
something.
spastic
But it's a
more.
distinctly
Right.
it's distinctly different.
It's funny, Mark, because like Tim and I were just talking about earlier, like he used to go and like try to pee really hard in urinals because he's gay and like would like stand next to like, right? Explain.
Not at urinals. Like when you would pee in a toilet.
I
And,
thought
like, the
it
sound
was
of your
specifically
stream
at
was really like loud. I don't know. I remember like when I was little, I'd always like try and like pee really hard so that it like sounded like I had like a really like strong stream. Strong stream.
and you would want it to be loud to
Because like I
attract
thought it was like,
guys.
oh, he has a big dick. He pees so loud.
That's so
You know,
funny.
but I'll tell my wife like, yeah, let me see that stream. Let me come on.
Oh,
Do you
like-
guys do pee stuff?
Not on each other, but I just egg her on like.
You've
It's
never
interesting
peed
you
on
say,
her?
though,
it's the Like, not at the stream beach or
I-
something.
No, I
something
have in the
like that.
shower.
Like in the
as a
shower, yeah.
joke,
You always pee on each other in the
Always
shower
peeing
as a
in her belly
joke.
button or something.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's never
she
happened to
doesn't
me.
mind though. Like, you know, but yeah, I wouldn't do that if she wasn't like, you know, you test out the feet, then you go to the knee, and then you're like,
Yeah.
all of a sudden I'm peeing in her face, and it's weird. But you know, just kidding, haven't done that.
Haven't done that.
Whatever.
But I
Just
could if I
have-
wanted to.
T, have you ever been peed on?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel like you would know.
So wait, were you traumatized from your flare up? Like, did you
yeah.
not
I
wanna
mean,
go
I
back
still
down
don't
there?
own toys. I'm
Really?
29 and I don't own toys. But also, thankfully, I come pretty easily.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fact that you could like make yourself do it in that.
Yeah. I can come pretty easily, and so pretty much like.
Are you an inside man?
What? Do you mean like? Can I come vaginally?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like
Inside
that.
man.
I've
Oh
never
my
heard that.
god.
Yeah, I can cover that. I can cover my boyfriend playing with my nipples. Like I can like.
Whoa,
Oh,
whoa. Slow down.
Yeah. He's like, hold on.
Uh huh. People are gonna want to hear about this.
I know. Yeah, I'm just like I feel like nerve endings are super sensitive, and so I can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I don't even know what. I mean, like I'm sure having a vibrator would be fun and like add another
But you
thing.
don't require it, so it's
Definitely
not like,
don't need
yeah.
it. And also, I have friends who have had vibrators and then gotten so desensitized that they can't come just from
Really?
themselves or their boyfriend. And I'm like, fuck that. Like,
I
I'm not
get
trying
worried.
to ruin.
I get like with
what I've got,
this
yeah.
toy that I use. Like I'm like, should I like? I'm like, I'm gonna keep it on level 2.
Okay,
because
yeah.
I can't go to level 3 because then
No going back.
you know, there's no, yeah, exactly. Like once you go black, you go back. Once you go level 3, you never come down again.
Now, is it a level of suction? I was wondering because I've used that technique during cunnilingus of like sucking, and some girls like it, some girls don't. But like, is it a level that like a human just couldn't do?
I don't think that they could do it because like I've tried with my boyfriend at this point. Like I've talked about this so much that like
because doesn't it get into your teeth at some point? It's like there's barriers to like how much suction you can apply to
the
a specific
suction
area.
from the womanizer isn't. It's not like, don't picture something like enclosing on you or pulling in any way. Like there's really no contact of like a foreign like feeling to the clit because it's just air. It's like a hole,
it's like a dick
and then
pump
the
for
air
your...
is doing the whole thing. Yeah,
but it does encircle it.
So
you put
a
it
guy
over the area it
could
has to be.
technically, but it would be like.
It'd be like crazy.
Like, it would be really difficult.
The entire time you'd have to
because
be
it's not
inhaling.
like
yeah.
It's not like. It's like
it's air.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it reminds me of a dick. But like that's how dick pumps work. Is they
like a Swedish penis enlarger.
Yeah. You put it over your dick and then you're just removing the air from it, creating a vacuum.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't it hurt?
No.
A dick pump? Have you ever used
I've
one?
never used one.
I was gonna ask you, doesn't
my dick is so large as is.
Oh my god.
I like guys.
I don't need one.
I wanted to make
Tim
it,
was really just doing that as a survey. He's
Yeah.
like, so have you needed a dick?
So yeah.
So,
I
Mark,
always
how
think
big
about it,
is
Tim,
your dick?
honestly,
Yeah.
with, like gay guys, I'm like, if I was a gay person, like specifically a gay dude, I wouldn't want to like hook up with a guy with a bigger dick than me, or like who's hotter than me.
Right.
Like, do you,
No.
No.
So, like, I never feel like that.
never.
Like, I always want to hook up with someone, like, hotter than me. You know what I mean?
But
Like, the hottest person you could possibly hook up
well,
with.
hooking up
right?
with somebody like like not as hot as you is probably like a little bit of a bummer. If you
Yeah.
like, like if you
Yeah, but I
can
mean,
hook up
sometimes
with
charity work is
But yeah, I mean, if it's available, if there's somebody hotter than you, I don't think there's like. I think that's probably a good feeling.
Yeah,
Like, ooh.
it's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was just always with the comparison. Like, you can't directly compare, like...
It's not even that, though, but even earlier when he was saying, like, oh, like, it's so embarrassing with a girl, like, not getting a boner. Like, I feel like with two guys, like, if you're drunk together, it's like, oh, we both can't get boners, or, like, we both can't come. It's, like, less, like, humiliating.
Right,
Yeah.
because also I'd imagine
Ah.
that it's a guy understands because
Exactly.
you feel like you have to explain with a girl that it's like
That it's not
it really
you.
could be stress. You know, like
Yeah.
oftentimes it is stress or whatever. Something gets in your head and
Don't you fight on my ex's side. No. No.
No,
I
but
wasn't
it's
even
also
thinking about
like,
that.
even with things you like and don't like, don't touch my balls. My balls are sensitive. Like, I feel like girls
Yeah.
like, oh my God, he doesn't even like it when I touch his balls. Like,
Right.
it's not like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like, no.
But that's also a maturity thing or what I've evolved to like the communication thing between men and women. It's like I feel much more comfortable being like, okay, I want to make you come.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can-
What do
but
you
we
want?
can narrow these directions down to like if I'm eating you out, you can be like up, down, left, right, faster, slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to like a girl is probably gonna have a hard time coming when it's like okay, the clitoris is down there to the like you want to be like yeah up down or head movements or whatever. But
Yeah.
you have to have some form of communication.
Yeah.
And I remember being scared to like I remember this girl was blowing me one time and like she was using her teeth to like was scraping but like I felt bad about telling her like you're horrible at this 'cause
Yeah.
it was the first time she'd blow me and she was like what do you want me to do like I can't and I'm like no it's good like I because I felt bad about telling her like you
Yeah.
have to completely abandon the meth that you're using
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's so important to be able to like give
No,
specific
gay men are
direction.
like,
Yeah.
sit on top of me and milk my balls. It's like, pretend like you're milking me. It's like, what? Okay.
and also
But it's
okay.
considered hotter to like
Yeah.
say what and
Yeah.
I think for girls it's considered like we're being rude. Or like
Yeah.
I at least feel like I'm being rude.
Mhm,
That
like
I'm
you're
just,
worried that you're putting them
because
down.
a lot of the time the instruction is that's too much.
right. Yeah.
Like whatever it is with girls, it's just that's
and
too
the opposite
much.
with guys
It's
yeah
And it's the
demasculating,
opposite
too.
Yeah.
with guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you're doing too much, but really we just mean like, and do it softer.
Right. No, that's something that
Little
recently
less
the
of that.
communication is like some recent communication from my wife has been or not recent, but it's like, the theme has been go slower,
Yeah.
go softer, especially when eating out and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like and when you're pumping, like I have accelerated during sex and it can ruin an orgasm when you're at a right pace and you think like she's about to come, I'm gonna go faster. No.
No.
Stay at
Yeah.
the same pace.
It's not a
Don't
race.
move.
Yeah.
and
Don't
the nipple
change.
pressure and stuff like that. I thought I had no sensitivity in my nipples, but then I realized that like, oh, she can basically like bite down on them, and that's when I start to feel like
Oh,
the
wow.
erotic part
Yeah.
of it. Or even I saw this in a porno, like this guy Mandingo, who's got like the biggest dick.
Yeah,
in porn.
Mandingo.
Mandingo, right? he has a huge dick, but he's also a really good porn star. You know what I
Really,
mean? Like,
I've
he's,
never
like,
watched
good.
his work. I just remember, like in 4th grade, people were like, "There's this guy with a 4-foot dick. His name is Mandingo."
Now I need to
think
look
he's
this
a good
up.
porn star
Mandingo.
because again,
It's
some
a
people
very
don't know how to use
offensive
it.
name.
But I feel
But
like
it's
he
his
chose
to
it.
use. Yeah. Yeah.
I saw this one porn where he's like, "Bite my dick," and the girl had the dick in his mouth and was just like, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh my god, like that looks horrible." But then I had my wife try it, and I realized that the teeth aspect of guys, you know, hurting teeth hurt you when they scrape.
Yeah.
When you
Right.
bite down on it,
It's just
it's
pressure.
like a hand.
It's like a
pressure.
clamp.
Exactly. So my communication has been all like, harder, you can keep going, you feel like you're biting my dick off, but actually that's starting to feel good now.
Yeah.
You feel like you're
I mean,
biting my
that's true.
nipple
There's
off.
never like too much squeezing on the dick. Like
Or on the
squeezing
balls.
it
I've
first.
told her to
I
cinch
always
my
think,
balls.
I'm like,
and it's
I don't
pull
want to
down
do
harder.
that. I don't want to
Right.
like pop your dick out.
Yeah,
Like,
you
I
have
like
to
that
reassure
dick.
them. Right.
So every week I give an assignment, and this week I think it should be biting on dicks. Like, right? Bite on a dick. Don't like scrape or whatever. Just like bite down, do some pressure, or bite on a clit, but don't scrape.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have Charlotte here this week.
My
for
dick
research.
breaks tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you guys, it's Charlotte's last week at Last Week Tonight. So congratulations, Charlotte, for an amazing 3 years. And then she's going to come off and work
nice.
on the
Cool.
pod and study for grad
Charlotte.
school. But yeah, so you guys will hear more
And she
from
does
Charlotte.
research, right?
She does research for this.
Such
Yeah.
a well-researched show. I mean,
Thank
for Last
you.
Week Tonight, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Not yours.
yeah, no, it's her last day.
Charlotte.
I mean, then when we're recording, not when this is released. But she'll be done, and she'll be with us for the next few episodes. So
Awesome.
hooray. Kelsey Cook,
Yeah.
it's so nice to have you
I
here.
know, it's so
Thank
nice
you
to
for
see you, dear.
yeah, on this coast. It's so
I
surreal.
know, it's so weird. So fun.
Will you remind people where they can find you online?
Yeah, so it's kelseycook.com for tour dates, at Kelsey Cook on Twitter, at Kelsey Cook Comedy on Instagram, and then please go subscribe to the Self Helpless Podcast.
Yes.
We're part of the All Things Comedy Network now, which is Bill Burr's podcast network. It's awesome. We love it. So yeah, go check out Self Helpless.
Amazing. Mark, Harley, where can we find you?
You guys can find me at Hella Mark Harley on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay.
And Facebook. I just have a regular old Facebook profile. Be my friend. I'll accept you if you're not a Russian bot. And you can also find me on 50 Central if you go on BET.com. Watch that shit.
Sketch comedy, baby.
Sketch comedy. Yeah, I have a lot of sketch comedy like on the internet with brevitytv.com, for instance. They have a YouTube channel. I was in a lot of sketches. I have some funny like reels, you know, like
Hell
me doing
yeah.
characters and stuff online.
We love
Super
characters.
funny. Look me up.
Yeah.
Soup's fun.
Tim, would you like to remain anonymous?
Yes.
Okay. I'm still going to post
For
a photo
now.
of you. I won't post his handle, but I'm going to post a pic. You guys,
As
thank
long
you
as
so
I'm in that pic with Mark, you can post it.
I just have to ask you all, as a courteous host, after our sexual session, did you finish, Kelsey?
I finished.
Yeah? Okay. Mark, did you finish?
I came super hard.
Okay, great. Tim, did you finish?
Right after Mark did.
Oh, perfect. All right. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time on How Come.
Bye.
Bye.
That's the best way that could have ended.
It's not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I've still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz